week after announcing 25% tariff on imports from India along with a penalty. The US President Donald Trump has once again targeted India over its purchase of Russian oil. In a recent social media post, Trump has claimed that India is buying large quantities of Russian oil and then selling much of it on the open market for significant profits. He accused India of disregarding the casualties caused by the Russian war in Ukraine. As a result, Trump warned that he will substantially be increasing the tariff imposed on India. So this is the latest threat that has come in from Donald Trump, and again it's a post on social media where he has gone on to say that India is profiting from the war, and MEA has now responded to it. The MEA has given a response saying that this is hypocrisy of the United States. It's a strongly worded statement that has been issued by the Ministry of External Affairs. But first, let me take you through what Donald Trump has said. He has gone on to say and accuse India of not just buying Russian oil, but also selling it on the open market. Here's what he says. India is not only buying massive amounts of Russian oil, they are then, for much of the oil purchase, selling it on the open market for big profits. And then he says they don't care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by the Russian war machine. Because of this, I will be substantially raising the tariff paid by India to the United States. Thank you for your attention to the matter. And then he has signed off as President DJT. But we have more breaking updates now coming in. Amid Trump's tariff threats, a big statement has been issued by Shankar, the External Affairs Minister, batting for a fair global order. He says he desires to see a fair representation. So India has responded strongly. Remember, the Ministry of External Affairs has also issued a detailed statement to what Trump has said and has also mentioned that the United States also continues its trade with Russia. It's not just India. So in the statement, the MEA has in fact called out the double standards of the United States. My colleague Rishabh is joining us on the broadcast with the details. Rishabh, the United States imposing tariff. In fact, President Trump taking to social media yet again. Interesting though, accusing India of buying oil from Russia. Take us through the detailed statement of India and how India has exposed the hypocrisy and double standards of the United States.
Well, Pratibha, by far this is one of the strongest statements that has come in from New Delhi once it comes to the rhetoric that is being played by Donald Trump and Washington about India's purchase of Russian oil. India has been very clear that A, it is in our national interest, and B, it is necessary for the global order. India, in its statement yesterday, which was released by official spokesperson of External Affairs Ministry, Ranveer Jaiswal, he very categorically stated that how it was the United States that encouraged India back in 2022, and there is a statement from Eric Garcetti as well, the then ambassador of the United States here in New Delhi, that how India's purchase from Russia has stabilized the energy supply in global order. And India very categorically say that we had to turn to Russia because the traditional suppliers of the oil to India was diverted to Europe for the European needs, and we were left with nothing but an only option, that was Russia. Apart from that, India also goes on to say that while there is a lot of hullabaloo on India purchasing oil from Russia, why is US or Europe not looking within? US is purchasing raw materials for its EVs from Russia. Fertilizers are coming in from Russia to United States. LNG is going to Europe, and External Affairs Minister back in 2022 at the joint statement of India US 2+2 very categorically said that India purchases in a month what Europe purchases in an afternoon. So very categorically India very cleanly showing a mirror to the United States that all this criticism of India purchasing oil from Russia is misplaced. It is unjustified to accuse India for the Ukraine war. So remains to be seen how things unfold, but a very, very strong statement now coming in. Remember, this is the third time that we have seen Donald Trump attacking India on this very topic, and now India giving it back.
Absolutely. So it's clear that Donald Trump is not very happy with the way the negotiations are going, but India has also now shown the mirror to the United States. A statement coming in from the Ministry of External Affairs and also now a reaction from S. Shankar. Listen in.
Friends, We live in complicated and uncertain times. Our collective desire is to see a fair and representative global order, not one dominated by a few. That quest is often articulated as political or economic rebalancing. But I want to say this to you: obtaining respect and ensuring dignity for societies can also be achieved through cultural prowess, especially through cultural prowess. In that context, traditions are of particular value because ultimately they define identity. We must be assured about what we are if we want to be confident about shaping the future. For nations like us, traditions are truly a great source of strength.
So there is a strong rebuttal that has come in, and this is to US President Donald Trump's statement that he had made. So let's take you through what the United States has said and the response that is coming from India. So Donald Trump started with his social media post. The Ministry of External Affairs has issued a point-by-point rebuttal exposing the duplicity of the United States. The MEA has in fact pointed out that the US itself pushed India to buy Russian oil. This was during the war, and continues to also import energy and even uranium from Russia. So the Ministry of External Affairs has said that the US also continues trade from Russia. It continues to import energy and uranium from Russia. Calling the targeting of India unjustified, the Ministry of External Affairs has reiterated that India will always act in the national interest and will not be pressured into any external narrative. We have in fact more breaking updates coming in. Amid this war of words and the back and forth coming in with the United States, Russia has slammed the United States on tariff. Responding to a question on tariff on global south countries, Russia has said that Washington is unable to accept the erosion of its dominance in an emerging multipolar international order, saying no tariff wars or sanctions can halt the natural course of history. So, strongly worded statement from Russia, going on to say that Washington or the United States is being delusional, that it is unable to accept the erosion of the dominance in the emerging multipolar international order. So Russia has gone on to say that we are supported by a vast number of partners, like-minded states and allies, particularly among the countries of Global South and BRICS. So Russia also has gone on to mention BRICS, an issue that Donald Trump has spoken about previously and has expressed that he is not happy with. We have in fact more breaking updates coming in. Not just Russia, but China has also pushed back at the United States' demand to stop buying Russian and Iranian oil. The United States and Chinese officials may be able to settle many of their differences to reach a trade deal and avert punishing tariffs, but they remain far apart on the issue of the US demand that China stop purchasing oil from Iran and Russia. So China has said, and I quote, China will always ensure its energy supply in ways that serve our national interests. This is a statement that has been issued by the Chinese Foreign Ministry, hitting back at the United States after US called out the country for buying oil from Russia. Similar to what has happened with India as well, Donald Trump also took to social media to call out India and claim that India was being unfair by buying oil from Russia, calling out China as well, after which China has hit back. Rishabh continues to stay live with us. And Rishabh, so we're seeing a response, a strongly worded response that has come in from India. Russia has responded, and even China standing up to the United States and saying that we are going to look at our national interests. That's going to be paramount.
Well, definitely. See, one thing is clear. You can push to wall at certain point itself, and now be it India, be it China, be it Russia, do understand that Washington's interference in the trade that India, China or Russia is doing is something which is unjustified, and hence all the three countries now have started making these statements. The first came in from India last night, then came in a statement from Russia, and now China has also said that they are not going to bow down to the pressure from United States, and they will continue to purchase oil from Iran or Russia, and the sanctions that have been put in place by United States is unjustified. A very strongly worded statement from New Delhi, Moscow and Beijing now will definitely make Washington rethink their whole tariff and trade policy that they have been boasting about, that how the major economies are now not in place or not ready to adhere to the line that has been told by United States, and that is something that is a big global development now. Beijing, New Delhi, Moscow, even countries like Brazil or others have very correctly called out Washington's hypocrisy, and now that is going to be the next new normal, that India or countries of global south will not blindly adhere or will not be compelled to adhere to the line that is being told by Washington on the trade policies.
Okay, so India, China and Russia giving a reality check to the United States, with Russia even going on to say that the days of the US domination are over and the US is unable to accept it. We are breaking updates now coming in of the politics around it now. Within minutes of Donald Trump's fresh threat, Congress has again lapped up to the US President's comments and targeted the Modi government. Jairam Ramesh of the Congress party has taken to social media X to say this is what happens when foreign policy becomes all about image building than national interest. Here is what he goes on to say. It's a long post on social media. He says, so much for Howdy Modi, so much for Namaste Trump, so much for Ab Ki Baar Trump Sarkar, and so much for the BJP MPs hailing Narendra Modi as India's trump card, despite all the hugs, all the handshakes, all the high decibel bromance. So he's gone on to call out or mock the hugs, the handshakes of the Prime Minister with the US President, and going on to say what has come of the much wanted front row seat for the External Affairs Minister at the inauguration, or for the Prime Minister being one of the first to land at the White House for a meeting with the President of the United States. Going on to say tariffs are being slapped, negotiations are going nowhere, but Asif Munir, the man whose invective was the backdrop for the Pahalgam terror attack, gets lunch at the White House. So making a comparison of India versus Pakistan, and then saying this is what happens when foreign policy becomes about image building more than anything else, and says that national interests have taken a backseat. So this is what has been said by Jairam Ramesh of the Congress party, but it doesn't look like many from even his own party agree with him. Listen in.
प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप को यूक्रेन में मारे जा रहे लोगों की बड़ी फिक्र है, लेकिन गाजा और लबनान के अंदर इसराइल जो भूखे लोगों को, मासूम बच्चों का कत्लेआम कर रहा है, उसमें तो प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप खुद हिस्सेदार हैं। अगर प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप ये चाहते हैं कि भारत पे दबाव बनाए, प्रेसिडेंट ट्रंप के इस बयान का हमारे प्रधानमंत्री को सख्त अल्फाज में जवाब देना चाहिए।
President Trump of USA has alleged that India is buying crude oil from Russia and is selling it for profit. I think it is none of the business of the USA President to interfere in the internal affairs of the country, and Prime Minister Modi should also give a rebuttal on what President Trump has said.
There are breaking updates now coming in amid these statements being made by the Congress leaders. Karti Chidambaram has said that we must act in our national interest. So this is a statement that has come in from Karti Chidambaram, who says that we must act in our national interest, not be influenced by petulant tantrums of impulsive heads of state. My colleague Sabyasachi is joining us on the broadcast. Sabyasachi, there is a clear divide within the Congress party. While the likes of Jairam Ramesh are calling it a failure of the foreign policy of the country and the Modi government, there are some like Karti Chidambaram. We've previously also heard Shashi Tharoor saying that with Trump, he is a petulant, tantrum-throwing man, and that's the reason why there are so many challenges.
Well, that's right, Pratibha. See, the Congress, it seems, is divided when it comes to Donald Trump and his continuous threat. We have leaders like Mr. Jairam Ramesh, who has been continuously questioning the central government over its silence, stating that the central government must come out up front and issue a strong worded statement to U.S. President Donald Trump. And they have been also, the Congress party has in fact in the parliament also given several adjournment motion asking for a discussion as far as the several claims that have been made by Donald Trump and the tariff issue is concerned. But on the other hand, you have leaders like Mr. Karti Chidambaram from the Congress party itself, who clearly says that at this particular time, India knows very well what it is good for its national interest, and it will do so. And this has been retaliated by not only Karti Chidambaram, but several other Congress leaders from within the party. So clearly there is a difference as far as the Congress party is concerned and the party line is concerned, because you have leaders like Mr. Manish Tiwari, you have leaders like Mr. Shashi Tharoor, and now Mr. Karti Chidambaram, who has called out in open. And when it comes to national interest, we stand united, we stand with the country. And whereas leaders like Mr. Jairam Ramesh continues to raise questions, and the Congress party and some of its member of parliament in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha continues to give adjournment motion in the House asking for a discussion on this particular issue.
Okay, all right, Sabyasachi, thank you for joining us with those